Welcome back, everyone, to a episode of Homegrown Music with Aaron and Justin. And tonight's interview is with
Jaymes Buckman of Hot Apollo.
I want to start up by asking you to introduce yourself and what you do in a band.
I'm Jaymes Buckman, lead singer and songwriter behind the shiniest rock and roll band in the galaxy, Hot Apollo.
What's the band's origin story?
Well, the guitarist and I have known each other since kindergarten, and in high school we jammed around from time to time, but it was never. It just wasn't the right actual sort of place in our lives to do it. And later in life, we reconnected and just carried through some stuff I've been writing, and recruited some other people to fill the other roles around us.
And where did the name come from?
Actually, that was an artifact from a previous band I was in during high school. I was in this group for 2 weeks with another friend by the name of Hard Needles. And he said that he never wanted a stage name or anything because his own name was Hard Needles, which is a pretty good name. But he'd come up with this name Hot Apollo for our band because it came from an Allen Ginsberg poem he liked called The Shrouded Stranger. He was really big on heat poetry and stuff. And so that band didn't work out. He realized that music wasn't really his passion. But he said that I should use the name for my next band. And when the next band was formed, that name stuck with me. And I've also been a big fan of mythology generally, so that aspect of it appealed to me. And just the way it rolled off the tongue, the essence of it. And so I called him up. I said, "Yo, I think I'm going to use that name after all." He said, "Yeah, do so with my blessing. Just when when people ask you about it, mention my name." And so there it is. Hard Needles. Thank you for the name Hot Apollo. It's stuck with me ever since.
So, how has the coronavirus or COVID-19 affected you musically and creatively?
Creatively, not at all. But in a broader sense, I'd say the first month or two, that period was the worst because that was when lockdown was totally strict. We couldn't even meet for band practices. We had Zoom meetings, which were decent for writing songs, but in terms of actually practicing them, we couldn't get the latency to work out. Because when you're jamming, every instrument needs to be synchronized with every other instrument, and internet delays mean that there's always going to be a half second or something that's off, and that part did not work. We tried, but we couldn't make it work.
What's your advice for people who want to start a band or at least a music career?
What's worked for me is just start and never stop. For me, it's got to the point where it's far harder to stop than it is to keep going. And if that resonates with you, then you've probably got what you need to make a band happen.
What advice would you give someone who isn't able of handling self-isolation well for long periods of time?
I would just say to keep looking to connect in ways that you can. Because as I said, I never had such long phone calls as I did, during that period when I couldn't physically see anyone. I'd be chatting to friends and family for hours on the phone, which was not customary for me because usually when I want to talk to people, I just go and see them. So that was actually very helpful, and that would probably be my advice for anyone who needs some human contact. Just connect in the ways you can. Internet, calling, phone, all of that. It's all good. It's not quite the same, but it's still valuable social interaction.
And do you still practice at all, like instrument-wise and maybe vocal-wise?
So I don't know what the regulations are there, but in Toronto, like small meetings are allowed again, and we've been getting back to a regular band practice.
Are there any current favorite songs that you've been listening to lately?
I told my girlfriend that I realized I hadn't seen the sequel to Mamma Mia, and she immediately brought it out and watched it with me. And that made me think, it's been a while since I've listened to these songs, these ABBA songs. I wonder if there are metal versions of them. And I went on iTunes and found a bunch of metal covers of ABBA songs. Those have been delightful.
So what are you doing to keep yourself motivated and not to give up?
The motivation is just to keep creating art and shooting it through the furthest reaches of the universe. That's like something that's just inherent within me. Like, to stop that would be like stopping breathing. Like, it would take a lot of effort, and I couldn't keep it up very long.
And what would you like to see happen after the lockdown is over that would help your band musically?
I mean, I don't know. I would love to, get back to, playing big shows again. But at this stage, safety is paramount.
So what is the recording process for the songs that you release?
So pretty standard process, just do each instrument separately, track the drums, track the bass, track for rhythm guitar, lead guitar, vocals, backing vocals, that kind of thing. I don't know much about the technical aspects of it, like what programs he uses or anything.
What is marketing / promoting your music like?
I do what I can, and I just try to get our name and sound out there wherever I can, in any situation.
Is there any current plans to release more music or even acoustic tracks?
We just released our single Gwen, Stacy, and when we, finish up for our next recording, we'll release Post Haste 2. And then I think after that, I'm probably looking at middle of autumn for the next single. But that's currently how we're doing it.
Any new video content coming out?
No solid plans, but we're looking into it.
Do you think social media free concerts or live interviews can maybe boost the online following of bands and musicians?
I think everything helps at any time. I think that having more avenues to promote and deliver music is unequivocally a good thing.
What do you miss the most about performing at shows or even seeing shows?
Just the entire experience. Just getting up there, performing music, making an hour, making most of an hour pass by in a few minutes. It's so good. It's like nothing else. It's like no other feeling. And I can't wait to feel that magic again.
What venues would you like to play at in the future?
Any that'll take me. But some of my favorites I'd like to revisit would probably include places like the Opera House. That has a glorious kind of stage, very open, very ornate. I had a few shows at the Amacombo before one of its closures, and I hear that opened back up shortly before everything closed. So if that can manage to come out of quarantine and host local shows again, I'd be up for playing there.
What are some ways people can support the band while they're at home?
So all right, if you go to our Bandcamp page at hotapollo.bandcamp.com, you can stream and download all of our songs for no money, but we also accept donations. So if you want to toss in a few cents or a few dollars, for the songs that seem worth it to you, I would encourage that. We're also on iTunes, Spotify, that kind of thing. So we get a smaller cut from that, but it's whatever works for you. We don't currently have any merchandise that's just like sitting around. But I think we do have like a TeePublic store. So if you want to like go there and search us there, we have like our band logo, which is basically this on a shirt. So stuff like that. But yeah, mainly the best way to support us is honestly to spread the word, tell more people about us.
Where can people find the band on social media?
Just search for Hot Apollo anywhere, you should find us. So Hot Apollo on Instagram, Hot Apollo on Twitter, hotapollo.com is our main website, which has links to a bunch of other places, including our Bandcamp page, which is hotapollo.bandcamp.com, or Hot Apollo on SoundCloud, Hot Apollo on Facebook.
Well, that's all for tonight. Thank you to Jaymes for coming here. And thank you guys for watching.
Thanks for having me.